guess before we get into our normal news of the week, last week was the elections. And again, we're not going to talk about the presidential election. We don't get into politics on a grand scale like that. We get into politics that means something for the outdoors of Northern California. And by my estimation, there were really three things on the ballot locally that sort of impact, tourism and outdoor recreation and water in Northern California. Should we talk about it?
Yeah, let's talk about it. The first one we'll talk about is Prop 4. California approves a $10 billion bond for water, climate, and environmental projects.
This is mostly for water, right? So they have $3.8 billion of this going to water projects. They have another $1.5 billion going to wildfire, and another $1.2 billion going to coastal protections. Now, again, I should have said this. We don't get into politics because I made a joke once on our social media pages. President-elect Donald Trump talked about Yosemite National Park. He mispronounced Yosemite. He called it Yosemite. We've talked about this in the past, and we made a joke about it. It was purely just a fun thing. We weren't making a political statement. I literally got threats from that post. So we stopped talking about it. So, but this is completely, this is into what we do. So yeah, we got a ton of money going to water. We got a ton of money going to fire. And this is something that, because it pertains to us, I actually, publicly endorsed on our website and on our social media pages.
Yeah, Northern California, we talk about it, lives and breathes with water. And a lot of the bad things that come from lack of water are fires. So a lot of people would think, you would make a whole, proposition regarding wildfire. But the bigger issue is water. So it does both. I like that they did lay out that there is over $1 billion set aside for wildfire, but water is huge, and it's the future. I mean, we need clean water to drink. We need to keep the recreational areas that do have clean water clean, to continue the recreation. That's going to bring the tourist dollars in. I'm a fan of this. I like when I voted for this. But yeah, I'm glad it passed. It's an additional tax. We're taxed to no end here in California, and there are certain things that I say are worth my tax dollars, and certain things that I personally don't. This one I feel is my own opinion, so I'm glad it passed.
Yeah, the people against it say it's just we're just spending, which I totally get that. But in this case, I feel like it's something that we need to invest in. You need to invest in flood protections before the floods happen. You need to invest in wildfire protections before the wildfires happen. Also, we need to invest in things like Sites Reservoir to increase our water storage moving forward as California gets bigger and more populated. So this is a good move all around.
Absolutely agree. All right, the next one that we'll talk about. South Lake Tahoe residents reject vacant vacation home tax. Have to say,
you called it. Yeah. So we talked about this on the last episode, and Bob thought it was going to not pass. I thought it did. It ended up not passing. So this was
not passing like massively.
It was rejected.
Rejected 77%.
73% opposed the measure, which it kind of tells a story to me. I don't know. How many of these people that were voting have these homes? I don't know.
Right.
So because if you're not paying the tax, I'm just surprised more people didn't vote for it that weren't having to pay the tax. But essentially this was trying to get second homeowners who occupy their properties only less than half the year to pay an extra $3,000 a year in taxes, and that could move up to $6,000 a year in taxes, depending on how often they're there. This is trying to fight the housing shortage in South Lake Tahoe. The people who come from all around the world, all around the country to work at these ski resorts. They work at the restaurants, they work at the shops and the stores. They can't afford to buy homes. They can't even afford to rent homes because all these vacation homes just sit empty.
Not only that, we talked about it last week, those vacation homes sit vacant. That's not people there spending money in the local area. It's just, there's a lot of negative things about vacant home sitting. So they're trying to alleviate that. But I called this one. I knew that the local community they would have made other things increase cost. I think if this passed, a lot of other things would go up as far as cost. And I think the local community saw that and was like, you know what? I'm good.
Yeah, they do need to address this, right? They do need to address the housing shortage. All these mountain towns where people buy second homes and vacation homes and they're Airbnb-ing and VRBOing them out. It's a problem because the locals can't afford it or just don't have, good options in terms of living situations. So they do need to tackle this problem. The locals decided that Measure N was not the way to go. So
yeah, we'll see what they come back with next time because I'm sure they're going to continue this pursuit. Okay, let's get to the last story. San Francisco voters opt to close the Great Highway for massive oceanside park.
Yeah, this is Ocean Beach on the very west end, right along the ocean of San Francisco. Has the Great Highway, is it 101 or 1? It's 101. That goes just across the ocean. It's absolutely beautiful, and it's this giant, highway. And basically the measure passed with 54% of the votes in the city to close it for 2 miles and create a massive park. Now, the opponents are saying this is going to push 14,000 vehicles into neighborhood streets, which I completely get. I don't know how they're going to alleviate traffic in this area. There's already traffic issues in this neighborhood in San Francisco. But this really could make a really cool park along the ocean in San Francisco.
Yeah, I don't know what I would have voted for if I was there because I totally can see both sides of it. Honestly, I could see the people that were against it a little bit more because traffic's always in it. We're going to talk about traffic kind of a lot in this episode, and it's a big deal. And nobody likes sitting in traffic, and there's just a lot of things that are not good when there's too much traffic in certain places. And so alleviating that whenever possible is good, and adding to the problem is not good. Now, it's supposed to be a pretty nice looking oceanside park, and that's pretty cool. But I can see how people would be against, 14,000 additional cars in their neighborhood a day?
Yeah, so my guess is, this park will be, I believe it's the outer Sunset area. That's the exact spot that they're going to put it. My guess is that entire district of the city voted against it, while the rest of the city is like, yeah, let's have a sweet park we can drive to. And, but the people who actually live in that area are going to have to deal with the issues, which is real now. I think with a giant park, real estate in that area is going to go up too. So, it's interesting. Now, what are they going to make this park into? I don't know, but the options are limitless. It could be really, really cool. Again, I get the people who are against it, but it should be fun to see what happens over the next few years.
Yeah. Good luck to that neighborhood with traffic, I guess.
Okay, that ends the political talk, hopefully for maybe the next year or two.